Hello, everyone. This is OG. Very, very excited today to have two key people with me to talk about a very exciting topic that probably you're going to be interested. We're going to spend some time, some quality time. We are going to deep dive this topic, so stay with us. Donovan, you are working for Glen Raven. Ashutosh, you are working for Acuver Consulting. Very happy to have you here today, and nice to have you on the show.
Thank you, Oliver. Thanks. Good to be here.
Okay, so the idea here is to deep dive into a very interesting use case that I believe would be interesting for the audience. So, Donovan, before we deep dive into that use case, into that integration journey, could you start by giving us an overview of Glen Raven, what the company does, the scale at which it operates, and obviously the complexity it involves?
Yeah, so Glen Raven is probably best known for manufacturers of the Sunbrella product, indoor, outdoor furniture, awning, and marine. And then we also have Dixon in Europe, and then we manufacture in China. So most of our manufacturing is here in the U.S. of U.S. parts. We have multiple manufacturing facilities here, and then we have multiples in France, and then one in China. So trying to keep all of that flowing as it's interesting bits, especially this year with everything that's been going on globally. Aside from that, we also have a distribution branch that not only distributes Sunbrella products that we make, but distributes products that we purchase from around the globe and sell within the U.S. Fabric and hardware supporting the awning, marine, and interior design industries. So pretty complex overall, just with sourcing and keeping everything flowing, the ins and outs of order placement, purchase orders, vendor management, all of these things. Vendors are changing rapidly as we're shopping globally. So very fast paced.
Okay, great. So very big company, lots of moving parts, probably some challenges to keep everything synchronized, right? So with that scale, I imagine systems and processes can easily become disconnected, right? So what challenges led you to rethink the integration?
We were running legacy systems for our integration, and security being one of the key things, key factors these days, is we couldn't keep up with security first and foremost. We couldn't keep up with changes from the business. So if the business came up and said, hey, we found another platform, we'd like to look at using this platform for something, the integration time was months. It was all hard Java code. So you had to get a team of developers and go through this whole process just to onboard one new integration. And we started looking for a better solution. We wanted something fast. We wanted something very agile and with a group that understood supply chain and our order management and all of the pieces surrounding order management, ERP, warehouse management. And that's kind of how we came to meet Ashutosh and his folks.
Yeah, so I would say what you were looking for was more than just, basic point-to-point connection. You were looking for a platform that would give you the flexibility and the visibility to handle all the connection points, right?
Yeah, there are plenty of other products out there that do just point-to-point. I mean, can go with like a MuleSoft or Boomi or something. Your basic point-to-point and some transformation and things like that. When we were looking at Boomi, and when we saw this product, when we saw Aekyam, it really opened our eyes to, there's so much more we can do here. Even the things that we're currently doing, we were kind of looking at, here's everything we currently do, and can we do it with a product? And then when we saw Aekyam, it was more of we can do everything we currently do and so much more. One, we can do everything now more efficiently and fully traceable, which I didn't have before. I lost traceability through some of these things. Now I can see every step of the way of what happens with any transaction. But just, it really opened the future up to us. Now, if something comes up, I don't worry about it. I just send it over to Ashutosh's team, and we get it knocked out quickly. It's not even an issue anymore. The business got to a point where they were afraid to ask for something because they knew it was going to be a long time and a lot of money. And now that's not the case.
Okay. So Ashutosh, maybe a great segue here. Before we get into the details, into how your team helped solve those challenges that Donovan described, let's talk about the platform itself, right? What makes it different? What does it bring to the table?
Absolutely, Oliver. A great place to start. Aekyam isn't a traditional AI platform. It's an AI native workflow orchestrator platform, where many platform stops at APIs and data pipelines. Aekyam goes with a step further with what we call the AI thinking layer, right? An orchestration layer that understands the context and the intent, not just the data movement. Now, what makes Aekyam stand apart? In If I expand a little bit more on the thinking layer, it identify anomalies and even trigger autonomous decision making in real time. Aekyam platform comes prepackaged with the industry accelerators, which includes ready to deploy templates, workflows, connectors for industries like supply chain, including textiles, retail, which drastically reduces time to value. It's a low code, no code platform, which means that not that tech savvy users can also come up with complex workflows, including which involves traditional applications as well as might involve AI agents and chatbots as well. And last but not the least, what Donovan also mentioned is complete observability, traceability, right? By that, what we mean is as the communications is happening, the data is getting exchanged between various participants in a workflow, be it traditional applications or chatbots or AI agents, right? There has to be complete transparency in what data is getting exchanged, what decisions are being made. So that is what the platform provides out of the box. In short, Aekyam doesn't just move data, it thinks, learns, and reacts, driving operation resilience and smarter decision making.
Quite impressive. So thanks for this intro on the platform. Now, based on what Donovan shared, how did your team go about solving Glen Raven's integration challenges?
Yeah. So our engagement began with understanding the current state architecture, identifying the points of friction, especially where manual interventions were required or there were data blind spots, right, across various applications like ERP, OMS, WMS. We then deployed Aekyam's cloud-native integration fabric and established real-time synchronization across, various applications, including planning applications, fulfillment applications, e-commerce applications. We leveraged our pre-built adapters to accelerate the overall implementation and reduce the time to value. And the Aekyam's thinking layer that played a significant role in automating exception management, right, and also the workflow orchestration. It resulted in automation at scale, and that allowed the Glen Raven planners to react proactively before any issue impact the customer experience.
Yeah, that's great. I love when I hear automation at scale. I'm a big automation guy, and this is obviously, freeing up some time for people to go do other things. We'll talk about that, but this is absolutely key. So back to you, Donovan. What kind of business result did you begin to see after the implementation of the platform? Could you try to expand on that, please?
Yeah, so when we started our implementation, we picked out kind of our biggest pain point integrations, right? Where we were losing data, and it was happening every day. So myself and another member of my team were spending a good bit of every day. Every morning we would come in and I wrote some complex queries, querying multiple systems to find like where a transaction started over here and didn't appear over here. And we spent most of our day just firing APIs into our order management system, just trying to get data caught back up. And, that was an impact to everything because TriVantage, our distribution branch, they ship around 90% same day. Inventory coming in and going out is having that accurate is key to their business. So they would be receiving that morning, and then behind the scenes, myself and Bruce are firing APIs to catch up all the inventory that's missing so that they could then ship it same day. It was a really big impact to them. It became visible to the users that things were not happening fast. So we picked that one as our very first integration, and it went seamlessly. Honestly, I mean, the Acuver team picked it up, got that done in a couple weeks, start to finish. And that was planning everything out, building the environment and everything, got the integration done. And immediately we saw that they could waive orders earlier in the day so that they could pick, pack, ship that same day. That meant more customer fulfillment, happier customers buy more. So, we were starting to see impacts on our market share because of our integration layer, just because we were losing so much every day. And people were, inside of the company had lost faith in the systems. And then that translates to outside of the company. Customers start to think, well, maybe they can't get it to me same day, and they'll start looking elsewhere. That was probably the first major impact, was seeing now these transactions are happening. It's reliable. As Ashutosh, behind the scenes, there is automation, there is AI. So if something does fail for some reason, it auto retries, and it will auto retry several times. If it can't do it, then they'll send an alert, but usually it comes through. Be some communications issue, network, whatever, things out of our control, something happens, we still get the message. And that stability has been great for us. Now I don't hear the complaints from anyone about things not showing up right. So now from the business side, they're starting to come back around. They're starting to feel like our systems are stable. They can trust what they see. They're not questioning the system so much, and that makes everyone happier.
That's amazing. So talk to me above and beyond the traceability, the visibility, the flexibility that you gain by implementing the platform. Talk to me about your daily life, right? You said you had a whole bunch of things that you had to do. That kind of, went away, right? By adopting the platform, right?
Yeah. So now I've got time to do other stuff. I'm currently implementing 2 WMSs. I'm writing some code again. I hadn't been able to write code in a while because I was so busy just firing APIs. I didn't have any time. I'm on an AI committee now, and we're investigating AI use cases within our business. So I have time to actually research and read articles and stuff. So those are all things that my day was every day starting 6 a.m. was just catching up transactions. And now I feel like able to provide some value to the company beyond just being an automation behind the scenes, because that's, Donovan as a service is what was happening, right? I was just firing APIs and this stuff. So I'm free. A lot of my time is freed up. Bruce's time is freed up. He's working on a lot of projects now, WMS with me, CRM. So it's really allowed us to take on more.
Yeah. This is the kind of true story we love, right? The fact that I would say above and beyond the numbers, bottom line, top line, the KPIs, when it's also impacting the daily life of the people, because it's freeing up, it's allowing people to innovate again, work on projects, programs. This is exactly what we love.
Yeah, it's the best case for automation.
Yeah, exactly. For me, this is like a great use case for automation. I love it. So back to you, Ashutosh. Let's go deeper into the outcome Donovan shared. From a platform standpoint, how were those results achieved?
Yeah. So if I have to call out 3 or 4 key aspects of the platform that helped us achieve what Donovan just summarized, the first one would be Aekyam provided unified integration fabric with end-to-end traceability, explainability, and intelligent recoverability, right? So that helped stitch together various applications into one cohesive real-time ecosystem and gave business instant visibility of all the transactions that were happening. Visibility into not only data at rest, but also data in motion as well. So that was a very important aspect. The next one, smart decisioning. Aekyam's now AI orchestration layer continuously interprets data, right? Data streams, surfaces exceptions, and autonomously orchestrates midstream decisions like rerouting orders or prioritizing inventory, all without any human intervention. That also played a very key role in overall driving the results. Then the self-healing architecture, Donovan alluded to that. There are exceptions that happen, very much part of data in motion. But at the same time, if application is intelligent enough and recovers seamlessly, right, that takes away the manual intervention that is required, reduces downtime, and more importantly, reduces the customer impact as well. So what Glen Raven got with Aekyam was not just faster data, it was actionable intelligence embedded in every flow as such.
Yeah, I love the fact that there's so much automation and AI capability built in the platform, allowing some decision to be made by machine in order to help some of those integration, the self-healing. I think this is really a good example of how a platform is actually making life better, right? So this is really a great success story for me. Now, if we think about, other people, company listening to us here and trying to put ourselves in their shoes. So they hear that story, they understand how much impact we can have by implementing and selecting the right iPaaS platform, the right integration platform. I would say for me, if I zoom out, I would like to understand maybe a question for both of you. Why is this, type and level of integration so critical for retail and supply chain today? Maybe Ashutosh, you can start.
Yeah. So, Oliver, what I think is that today's operations across various organizations are real time, they are multi channel and disruption prone as well. So, whether it is like synchronizing e commerce inventory with warehouse inventory or responding to geopolitical disruptions, completely constant orchestration between various applications, right? And those applications span from very back end of the supply chain to the very front end where you are interacting actually with your customers, right? So integration is no longer just a back-end task anymore. It is pretty much the strategic pillar of resilience and competitiveness, the backbone, which is making all these applications work cohesively together.
I think this is really important for people listening to us here to understand the impact at the strategic level, but also at the operational level. Maybe Donovan, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, Josh did a really good job of explaining that. Yeah, I don't really know what I can add there. I mean, he's right. Anymore, it is at the forefront. Used to be integration was the thing behind the scenes. No one thought about it. You didn't touch it much. But these days, geopolitical, all of these things that are happening current day, we're changing rapidly. And the technologies that are out there, I mean, we have people that are going off to trade shows and coming back and saying, "Hey, there's this new platform. There's a new app that new chat app that we can use. We want to look at this. We want a lot of data being provided to our customers through chatbots, things like that, where Aekyam allows us to quickly assess that and integrate it. And even in the lower environments, even if just the assessment state, right? We can spin something up. We can try it and go, yeah, it's not a good fit. But we can move through multiple platforms quickly and just try multiple things. Before, like I said before, it was so expensive and so time consuming. We had to pick something and say, that's definitely what we're going with, and we're going to stick with that. But now we have that flexibility to kind of try something, and if it doesn't work out, that's fine, and we just move to the next thing. So I don't feel like we're locking ourselves into other technologies that maybe aren't a good fit anymore, because we're so flexible now. We can try things, which is great. With the marketplace, if you look out there now, there are so many apps being developed, so many new applications being developed every day. It's just nice to be able to try things out quickly and shift and see how it can grow us overall.
Yeah. I think if may add here, you said, Donovan, at the beginning, and I think this is really something important, right, for company listening here. You said that the previous way of working was so, let's say, had some reliability and consistency issue, and therefore that led to trust issue. And now that you have a proper platform that is probably bringing back that trust that was gone before, right? You mentioned people are starting to come back. People are starting to want to do project with that platform. Integration is not anymore a issue in terms of generating some problem internally, generating some problem externally. The supply chain is very reliable. It's very consistent. It's very real time. And I think this is really a key point here, right? By having the right iPaaS platform, trust is absolutely critical when we talk about supply chain. I don't know if you want to add to that, Donovan, but I think this is a key point.
No, you're right. Because if there is no trust, if your end users, if your customers don't see that they can trust you anymore, they will start looking elsewhere. And with the end users, it's more of like for us, our CSRs who are talking to our customers, if they're fighting with the system and they have a negative view of the system, that comes through. If they don't feel like they can trust what they're seeing on the screen in front of them, it comes through and the customer picks up on that. As a customer, if you're saying, well, if they don't trust it, why can I trust it?
Exactly.
That's key this day. There's so much competition in every market these days. One thing that you can offer to your customer is that trust. If you can gain that relationship and that trust, they're going to keep coming.
Yeah, 100%. So for me, I think one final takeaway here, right, for people starting their integration journey, struggling with integration, lack of trust, lack of reliability, lack of consistency, looking for, let's say, automation and AI to be injected in the environment so they can, free up some time to do other things. The question I have for both of you here is, what should businesses take away about the role of integration, now in 2025 and beyond? So how would you describe the evolution of integration, and maybe Donovan to help you, right? People who don't understand, they see that as very complex set of plumbing, that kind of leaks everywhere and don't work, with plenty of pipes everywhere, right? How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, these days, most people are not running big monolithic applications anymore, right? You're running pretty complex environment, lots of microservices, and the integration layer, it used to be the big scary thing. Like you said, a lot of pipes leaking everywhere. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't work, maybe it worked yesterday, but not today. But today, integration, it is at the forefront. It is the tool that's going to allow you to do so much more. Anything you can think of, really, you can find a solution through an integration layer, a good integration layer. You should be able to go out and say, okay, I want to do X, Y, Z, and these things are available to you. And with the introduction of the automation and the AI that exists in Aekyam, it is easy. Integration shouldn't be scary. You shouldn't have to have a team of 50 people who all they do is keep that integration layer running. It should just be there. It is at the forefront as far as like availability to you to do these things and be able to see and prove that all of your stuff is working. For me, that's key because I'm kind of a behind the scenes IT guy. But I need to be able, if someone walks into my office and says, how do you know things are working? I can show them right now. I can see all the transactions going through. I think people just have to kind of think about integration in a little different way. It's not scary. It's also, with Aekyam, it's a great way to, if you're a company that doesn't have any investment in AI right now, but you're looking for how can I get AI in my organization? Here's an easy route, because the AI is there and it's kind of your foot in the door to see what AI can do for you without the big scary, what if AI takes off and then goes crazy? You don't have to worry about that here because it's a well thought out, well-built platform, and these guys know what they're doing. So it just works really well.
And I would agree with you. This is really becoming something that needs to be flagged as critical, needs to be flagged as strategic. The speed of change, the rate of change is accelerating a lot. Being able to rewire your company, being able to pivot without too much effort is absolutely critical. It's a competitive edge. Having an iPaaS platform, most of the people don't see it as something that is really critical, but it is. Your capability to rewire your company very quickly to adapt to change is absolutely critical and a huge competitive edge. This is for me very clear, and I hope people listening to us understand that. Ashutosh, what's your take on that?
I completely agree with what you just mentioned, Oliver and Donovan. So integration is very much now the nervous system of a modern enterprise, if you ask me, right? Like, it's a thinking layer, right? Which is not just a bridge, but it is taking dynamic decisions that orchestrates how systems, data, and people work together in real time. Right. And it allows you that agility where, for example, if tomorrow for certain decisions, you want to introduce an AI agent in the overall ecosystem, you can seamlessly do that. Or you want to introduce a chatbot, it allows you to seamlessly do that in the overall workflows that you would have defined. So it is a critical component of making businesses agile, intelligent, and future ready, in my opinion.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I would say, as a closing comment, I want to highlight something that we highlight a lot, which is the perception is that many AI products do not have a positive ROI and do not achieve major impact. I think here, as you said, Donovan, right? This is a very great example of how AI embedded in an iPaaS platform is really achieving result and really delivering positive return on investment, both at the number level, top and bottom line of the P&L, at the KPI level, but also at the people level, right? So I think this is a very interesting area for people listening here to deep dive into, to understand what's the situation in your company and to consider using a state-of-the-art iPaaS platform to totally revamp how integration, think about, the plumbing, the wire of your company is being done. So with that, I would like to close here. I would like to thank Donovan for his time today and, for this great story and use case that he shared with us. Very happy that now you have, gained some precious hour to go do cool stuff again. I would like to thank Ashutosh as well for articulating to us what the platform is doing and what it can bring to the table. So with that, thank you and talk to you soon.